So the other day, we decided to do something extremely ambitious. We decided to go whale watching in Oceanside, California. Now, it sounds like the kind of decision that happens after months of careful planning and marine biology research. But in reality, it was more like, hey, should we go see whales today? Yeah, sure. Cool. And then about 40 minutes later, we were driving to the harbor. Now, if you've ever been to Oceanside, it's one of those places where everything feels like a vacation, even if you technically live nearby. You've got the pier, surfers everywhere, fish tacos on every corner, and about 1,000 people who somehow look like they just came from a beach photo shoot. The harbor itself is one of the coolest spots. Boats everywhere, pelicans just casually supervising the marina like little security guards, and that smell of salt air mixed with sunscreen and fried seafood. It's the kind of place where you start saying things like, wow, we should do this more often, even though you definitely won't. Anyway, we get our tickets, walk down the dock, and hop on the boat with about 25 other people who are all equally optimistic that today is the day we will see the largest animals on Earth. Whales. No pressure, right? The captain gives the safety speech, which is just a polite way of saying, if you feel seasick, please aim away from the boat. And then we're off. The boat pulls out of the harbor, past the sailboats and kayakers and the one guy who looked like he had been fishing since 1994 and never left, and suddenly, we're in the open ocean. Now, if you've never been whale watching before, there's this moment where everyone just starts scanning the horizon like a group of extremely hopeful meerkats. Every splash, every wave, every random floating kelp leaf, someone goes, "Is that a whale?" It is almost certainly not a whale. After about 45 minutes of cruising around, the captain makes an announcement over the speaker. "All right, folks, it looks like we've got dolphins on the port side," which is honestly the whale watching equivalent of ordering a steak and getting a really good burger instead. But then you see them. Dolphins everywhere. They start jumping out of the water and racing alongside the boat like they're showing off. And suddenly everyone forgets that whales were even part of the original plan. Dolphins are wild animals, but they're also weirdly athletic. Some species can swim up to 25 miles per hour, which is faster than most people run. Unless you're being chased by something, of course. They're also incredibly smart. Dolphins have one of the largest brain-to-body ratios in the animal kingdom, right up there with humans, which means they might actually be watching us thinking, look at these idiots paying money to float around. Another crazy dolphin fact, they don't actually sleep the way we do. Half of their brain sleeps, while the other half stays awake so they can keep swimming and breathing, which honestly sounds like every parent with a newborn. Also, dolphins have names. Scientists discovered that they use a unique whistle sounds to identify each other, kind of like underwater nicknames. So somewhere under the boat, there might have been dolphins going, "Hey Kevin, look at these tourists again." For the next 20 minutes, they're just riding the wake of the boat, leaping out of the water, doing spins, basically putting on a show that would cost $120 a ticket at SeaWorld. Except these ones are free and clearly having the time of their lives. At one point, a whole pod swims right in front of the boat and everyone on board collectively loses their minds. Phones out, cameras rolling, people yelling things like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that one?" Which is funny, because they all look exactly the same, but somehow everyone has a favorite. Eventually, the dolphins peel off and disappear back into the Pacific like nothing happened. The captain slows the boat down and we all have that quiet moment where everyone realizes, well, technically we did not see a whale, but honestly, zero complaints. We got a perfect day on the ocean, dolphins doing Olympic-level tricks next to the boat, and a solid excuse to hang out in Oceanside Harbor. Still whale-less, but dolphin-rich. Which, if we're being honest, is still a pretty good day.